I'm Clay Carlino, and I do stuff. And what I've been doing lately, as you know, is sorting through my toys and then having live streams every weekend to show you the stuff that I find. It's great! So, it's been a heck of a week, mostly at work, which I can't tell you the stuff that I do at work, but you know what? I can show you this. Okay, this is something that, believe it or not, is for work. I'm exploring dynamic uses of cardboard, and I built this thing. I used the corrugations of the cardboard to make working gears. Look at that, huh? Okay, wait, are you ready for this? Okay, this is kind of trippy. You ready? You are getting sleepy. Your eyes are getting heavy. You will do my bidding. You will boycott any Michael Bay Transformers movie. Thank you, my minions. I've always wanted minions. Actually, no, I don't want minions. It seems like a lot of responsibility to have minions, and I don't think that I have the charisma to pull off having minions anyway. So, yeah, it's true. I probably can't have minions. So yeah, I've been very busy at work. This week was exhausting, and actually I still have work to do, and I haven't done it yet. So I guess I'll be doing that tomorrow. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about work. Also, I haven't worked on the truck. I didn't work on the truck at all. I'm waiting for some adhesive for the headliner, and I'm sorry, I'm not taping the headlining process. I should, and I actually feel bad that I'm not recording it, but it is such a pain in the butt. Taking the headliner out means removing all of the plastic parts of the interior that are around the pillars of the car. So when all the things around the windshield, that's what it's like.
God, please, no!
Yes.
No!
So that's what it's like to remove a headliner, and then it's not just the plastic pieces, because those plastic pieces also have the seat belts bolted in, and very often those seat belts are now I've been lucky with the truck. I put my breaker bar on there, and I got the bolts loose. They used a star bolt, and I was able to get those out. But when I had to do it on Katrina, nothing I did would free those seatbelts. I mean,
nothing is impossible.
No, this was impossible. Okay, it was okay. Maybe nothing's impossible, but I could not get Katrina's seatbelts out. It was awful. So I did get the headliner out, and then I had to scrape all the old foam off, and it was just messy, and it was painful, and doing that while it was threatening to rain and having cameras set up. I'm sorry. Okay, this is the roundabout way of saying I'm sorry. I didn't record that process. I do need to kind of get things a little bit set up better here, because I can't see my pop-out chat, and I know that it's somewhere. Oh, it's hidden. Okay, wait, here. Okay, so, oh, Joy! Joy's here! Hey, Joy! Thank you. You're one of the first people here. Thank you for
Excellent.
Yeah, excellent, dudes. I'm sorry. I think that we need higher volume on that. Yeah, just a little bit higher volume. So, we've got the lovely and talented Monica on soundboard. And I have to say that she improves the quality of these things about tenfold, because, I mean, let's be honest, I'm not that interesting. So I was just I was sitting here, while I'm getting better at setting this stuff up. It used to be that I would spend about 2 hours trying to get everything set up, and now I started an hour ago, and then I had half an hour to futz around. So I was sitting here. I got this. Thank you. Monica actually got me this little Playmobil Egon. It was on clearance at Ollie's. Ollie's Good Stuff Cheap, which I am not sponsored by Ollie's, and I'm not a paid representative of Ollie's, but it doesn't mean that I couldn't be. So, Ghostbusters! Anyway, so she got me this little Egon, which I'm not really a big fan of Playmobil stuff. I don't know, it just doesn't do anything for me. But what it did come with is it's got this great little proton pack. This is a good one for the super close. So let's go to the super close. There we go. Okay, so yeah, you can see this this little proton pack here. And that's actually a very nice little proton pack. And it also came with this little trap. And look at that, it hinges and it has the bright light that you don't stare into. So that's pretty cool. And the whole point of this is because Ectotron did not come with a trap. I know! How could he not come with a trap? Oh, it also came with this... Thank you! So, yes. It also came with this little PK meter, which I'll show also. Now, these things aren't super detailed, but they are nice. It's better than what I had before, which was nothing. So yeah, I've got for right now, I've got this in his arm. I would like to kit bash it so that maybe it folds out of his arm, or maybe folds out of his wrist or something. That would be cool. And then we've got the proton pack, which goes on the back, and this keeps coming out, which is a little bit of a problem. There we go. So we got the proton pack, and then I made this. This is a little piece from a Technic set, like Lego Technic. Monica always says Technique. I don't know whether it's Technique or Technic. So if Joy, you're an author, tell us if it's Technic or Technique. Oh, Cheeky Boy is here. Hey, Cheeky Boy, thank you for coming. Thank you very much. Awesome. Bonjour, Cheeky Boy. So, yes, and maybe you can help settle the debate. Is it Technic or Technique? Because I'm not actually sure. But anyway, I took this little piece and I put it in there, and then the trap, and I think I'm just going to glue it on, and then the trap will be able to peg in just like that, and then he will have a trap. And then I need to make this into a 5mm shaft so that he can hold it in his hand. And that will greatly improve Ectotron. And actually, okay, so, Kyoji! Kyoji, thank you for joining us. And Kyoji says, Technic? Okay. Wait, is that Quentin? Quentin, you're here! Hey, Quentin, hey! So, Monica was giving me hand signals, and she's saying, and I'm like, I can't read lips. And then she's like, and it's like, oh, cute, and then I look and I see Quentin. So hello, Quentin. So we have also in anticipation of Cinco De Mayo, we have here a Mexican Coke. That has nothing else added. Okay, I guess I need to make a longer drink. Arriba! So, so yes, we have a Mexican Coke, and there's been nothing else added to this for just in case we have any minors that are watching the live stream. That is just Mexican Coke. Right, everybody? Everybody in chat say yes.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
You know what? It's not even my Coke anyway. She forced me to drink it. It's her Coke. Anyway. So, we do have a whiteboard, but she's also got a soundboard and she's monitoring the chat, and we also have a TV here that she types stuff on. So Osaka Jack is here. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, I was just so it was Osaka Jack who was saying Monica needs to invest in a whiteboard, and I'm responding to it, not even realizing it's Osaka Jack. Hey, so here's a drink. You know what? To Joy, Jack, Kyoji, Quentin, and Cheeky Boy, and anybody else? Have I missed anybody? I think I got everybody. This one's for you. Okay, well, I was about to do like a Mexican Coke commercial here, where we show the close-up. Oh, okay, here we go. Come on! Everyone's a critic. So, anyway, I managed to waste 13 minutes, and we haven't even started talking about Transformers yet. I'm sorry. So, let's go ahead and Cheeky Boy says, Chin Chin Clay. Thank you, Cheeky Boy. So, we're talking about Hoist and Grapple today, and it's because I recently got Earthrise Hoist and actually I had Hoist about 2 weeks ago, and then I got Grapple just the other day, and so I thought, why don't we go ahead and show off the new Earthrise figures, and also do kind of a historical thing where I show the evolution of the designs of these characters.
This is the way. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Yes, this is the way. So, yes. Except, for legal purposes, this is only Coke. And that was in response to Cheeky Boy saying, Beach Cocktail Miami. So, oh, Mason Fur's here! Hello, Mason Fur! Greetings! You haven't missed anything, Mason Fur. I've been wasting time until you got here. So, now that Mason Fur's here, now we can progress.
Just do it!
Thank you, Shia LaBeouf. So, let's pull out Hoist first. Okay, we're gonna start with Hoist. This is Earthrise Hoist, and he looks great. You know, he's got a great vehicle mode. He's got this little thing, which even has a little wheel, so that when you put it down, you know, if you get it down all the way, then it's able to roll and not just drag across the table. So that's cool. And you can, you know, put it up in this position here, sort of, and you have to rotate the wings. I don't know what these are supposed to be in vehicle mode. I've seen tow trucks before, and I've never seen tow trucks with this crap on them. I mean, the original Hoist, let's just go ahead and show that the original Hoist also had wing things. This week, Mason Fur, this week, Mason Fur was asking no more apple cider, and I said that in celebration of Cinco de Mayo, we're going with Mexican Coke that has nothing else added. So yes, this is, and I've never really understood what all of this was supposed to be, but he's got it, and he's got it too. So, it's apparatus. So, you know, it does. I really think that they should put, you know what? We're kit bashing this, okay? We are going to put a Jurassic Park logo on the door of Hoist. So that, okay, wait, that was Joy. Everybody tell Joy that she just gave like the best suggestion ever. Hoist needs to be a Jurassic Park vehicle. So, yes. So, anyway, this is him, and I'll go ahead and go to the super close so you can see the details. And like I said, the detail on him is great. I love the translucent headlights, the knobby tires. You know, he's got nice paint deco. You know, he's got the apparatus. I don't like that this light bar on top is white. I may paint that silver because I really don't like the white. Let's see. And Quentin is toasting to us with a lemon lime Gatorade. Excellent choice, Quentin. I usually go for the unnatural looking colored flavors. So yeah, look at the tires, you know, look at the wheels. They have great detail. I'm trying to get this in focus, but the camera doesn't want to focus on the silver paint. But, you know, they even molded in like the lug nuts and everything. So, you know, nice tail lights. So yeah, a very nice vehicle mode. And of course he has a very nice robot mode as well, and I will show you that now. And you know, there's some neat things that they did with this, having the hands underneath, kind of making them look a little bit like suspension. You know, he obviously looks like a jacked up truck, not just an SUV. Thank you. This is good. This is going to take a little bit longer than that sound effect. I need that. I need to get that sound effect from when Prime in the pilot episode was hit by the blast and then he transformed super slowly, because that's what every kid had to do. So, all right. His legs kind of snap in. So everything snaps in right around here. There's a whole bunch of little rectangular pegs and holes. And then once you get that free, then it's all downhill from there. You flip out the feet in a very traditional Transformers flip out the feet way. You pull down the arms, the hood breaks. Like, not literally breaks, but there's a hinge at the hood. And then you pull out the sides. It's actually very similar to the Gen 1 version in a lot of ways. And then the hood folds down to make the chest. You know, that's a staple of Transformers for years gone by, that the hood of the car becomes the chest of the robot. And while, you know, it's nice to see them deviate from that every now and then, it's a good design choice. You know, the thing that I've always loved about Transformers is that you integrate the design elements of the vehicle, or whatever the alt mode is, the alt mode, and you integrate them into the robot mode so that you're reimagining these familiar shapes and these familiar assets and reinventing them as a shoulder or a chest or a leg or an arm. And that to me is one of the most fascinating parts of these toys, and probably why I've continued to collect them over these years. And it's also why I ended up becoming an industrial designer, because of that fascination I have with repurposing the familiar. So anyway, for those who don't know, Earthrise is the most recent line of Generations toys. And see, Transformers, Hasbro has done something kind of interesting. They've been having multiple toy lines for the Transformers happening at the same time. So while Cyberverse is going on, and that's generally for a younger audience, it's got a cartoon that is, you know, younger themed, it's animated, it's, you know, the toys are cheaper. They've also got their Generations line, which has a, you know, every year they have a new subline under the banner Generations. So it's the characters that we all grew up with from way back in Gen 1, but retooled, new toys, reimagined in new ways, and very, very oftentimes better than the originals. Did I say that? Oh, did I say that? Can I get away with saying that online? Did I say that? Oh, well. So, this is Hoist, and he comes with this piece, which is actually a gun, but you can put it in the hand, and when you put it in the hand, it completely covers the hand, so that he's got the familiar shooty thing. Now, once again, this is orange. His original shooty thing, which was actually a missile, but, you know, they took the springs out for the American release because, you know, a spring-loaded missile could kill a child. Thank you. Thank you. So this is the original one, and it was painted silver. This may very likely get painted silver as well, because it does look better in silver. Nonetheless, so, you know, we've got Hoist here, and I think that I need to clip something in. Let's see here. That goes there, and then this. There. Okay, so, and then we got the little wing things, and let's just show them in the super close so that you can really get a good look. Look at that face sculpt. Huh? Look at the detail of that. I mean, he looks like he just jumped out of the cartoon, except it's real. Look, and, you know, they've got these nice little paint details on the hood of the truck, so, you know, it's like, it's as though his gloss coat is wearing. You know, the great details. His body overall, let's just go back here, is, you know, he looks like Hoist. Yeah, I was talking, yeah, I agree. I was talking about that. The white on top is probably also going to get repainted as silver. That will happen in the future, because see, it is not enough for me to appreciate a new toy. I need to take my perfectly good toy and fix it. That's what I do. Yeah! Woo! I don't know. I don't know what sound effects are going to happen until they happen, so...
I'm the clever one, you're the potato one.
Well, apparently I know which one I am in that quote. So let me adjust my screen just a little bit, because when I'm using my software to switch cameras, it keeps covering over the chat, and then I can't see what everybody's saying. So, yes. So, anyway, this Hoist looks real good. He is fully articulated. You know, that's one of the great things with the modern toys. Posability, you know, back when I was a kid, if you got arms that moved, that was great. And that's all you asked for. But you couldn't do this, okay? And let me just go ahead and switch cameras here so that we can get him in pose. Look at that. I mean, you know, he's badass. He is, you know, he's here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and he's all out of bubblegum. I know, I use that quote all the time. I need to get some new material. So, yeah, that is Earthrise Hoist, and now let's just go ahead and compare him to original Hoist. And we have him right here. This is original Hoist, and, you know, he looks decent. And actually, I have two of them, because it seems like Hoist was a very common figure. Everybody I knew had Hoist, and most of the people that I knew didn't even care that much about Hoist as a character, but everybody had him. I think because he was a retool of Trailbreaker, and it seemed like once Trailbreaker was out of the store, he was gone. So if you wanted to get something close, you got Hoist. I think that Hoist was a favorite for parents and grandparents to pick up, because you know, he was one of the bigger ones. You don't want to go cheap, so you get one of the bigger ones, and I think they made a lot of them. So this is Gen 1 Hoist, and between my two Gen 1 Hoists, I have one full set of fists. Which, at least with Hoist, since he was very often shown as having the gun hand, if you lost a fist, it's okay, because, you know, and even without the little gun hand, you know, he's still, it still looks kind of like a shooter, so, you know, you weren't completely out of luck. Hoist's special power on the cartoon was that he was an architect. You know what? Being an architect is pretty cool. I'm not gonna say shit about that. I'm not an architect. I'm just an industrial designer. Well, actually, architects are industrial designers. You know, industrial designer is like the big category, and then there's like product designers and architects and automotive designers, and there's, yes, and we're all nerds. It's true. We're all nerds. Industrial designers, just so that you know, industrial designers are the bastard children of art and engineering, because neither field wants to claim us. Okay? For engineers look at us and it's like, oh, you're an industrial designer. Well, I'll tell you what, after I get done with the real work, then yeah, I'll hand my stuff over to an industrial designer so that you can make it pretty. And then artists look at stuff that industrial designers do. It's like, so you make products. You make the shit that makes our world ugly. Thank you so much. So, industrial designers, nobody wants to claim us. Osaka Jack wants to know if the reason for the orange color of the gun is because of U.S. toy gun laws. You know, it's possible, but I don't think so. I'm going to guess that it's just because for his Gen 1 color scheme, they've already committed to the orange and the green, and so they're just cost cutting by not having more paint or a different colored plastic. And yeah, there are plenty of guns that come with these toys that are gray or black, or even metallic colored, and this one certainly isn't realistic looking. So yeah, I don't think that that's playing into that. In fact, Grapple, which you will see shortly, this is Earthrise Grapple, and he also comes with a gun hand attachment, which I'm going to try and get out right here. Baby, it's really in there. It's really in there. It really doesn't want to come out. I don't want to break anything. Okay, there, we got it. I got it! Boom! Yeah, I couldn't do that again if you paid me. So, here, we'll get on the super close for this because it is tiny. So, this is the little gun that comes with Grapple, and as you can see, boy, I cannot get it to... It really wants to focus on the background, so let's do this. So, yeah, this is the gun that comes with Grapple, and as you can see, it is silver, and boy, the camera just does not want to focus on that. I don't know why. It does not like the silver paint. So, anyway, it is silver. And it's a gun. It's just that for him, I think that they've got black and orange. That's it. They used no other colors, so maybe they were able to splurge. Also, he doesn't have a whole lot of paint decoration. They used a little bit of the same silver paint on the front. So my guess is that it was within the budget to paint this extra piece, the silver, whereas with Hoist, that has a lot more paint deco, these black and red stripes and everything. I suspect that all of the budget for paint details went into that, and they said, screw making his light silver or making his gun silver. Yes, Joy has a question. Do you have an automorph, one of those auto-transforming Optimus Primes? I do not. In fact, I may have to do... Wait, I have to look this up. Automorph... I want to say that I saw this. Oh, Quentin, you're taking off. Okay. Thank you for stopping by, Quentin. We'll save some good stuff for you. Sure. Everybody say bye to Quentin. And, with Quentin leaving, this one's to you, Quentin. Thank you for that. So, I'm gonna just put this into the old internet machine here. And I'm gonna... Oh, there's a video here. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the internet view. And let's just go ahead and see if we can show this. Oh, wow, look at that. Wow. So, Oh, Osaka Jack, you're leaving too. Well, here's another one for you, Osaka Jack. I hope you come back soon. Salud. So, yeah, that is freaking amazing. And I don't know how much it costs. I suspect that it costs more than my car did. But boy, that is freaking amazing. So we've got we've got Hoist here, and we've got Gen 1 Hoist, and as you can see, I mean, you know, Gen 1 Hoist is a good toy. You know, no doubt. Gen 1 toy Hoist looks great. Au revoir, Osaka Jack. You know, he's weighty. You know, we've got die-cast metal hood here, die-cast metal feet. You know, he's got, you know, like I said, back in Gen 1, if you had posable arms, that was a lot. And as you can see, he's actually got, you know, he's got an elbow joint, he's got shoulder joints, he can even move out. So, you know, he's got some points of articulation. But admittedly, he's got no pelvis. There is no pelvis, and you didn't need a pelvis back in Gen 1 days. You know, you had a box body and you had legs, and that was good enough. But then we saw what they looked like in the cartoon, and they looked more humanoid. And so now, you know, we get robot pelvises. And, you know, that makes it easier to identify with as human beings. Do robots have to have a pelvis? They don't really have to have a pelvis. We only want them to have a pelvis because we have pelvises. But nonetheless, this does look more like the cartoon, and it has more points of articulation. And while it is all plastic, I would say that overall it does look better than the Gen 1 version. Yeah, the Gen 1 version still is near and dear to my heart, and I'm going to show you how you transform him here. So you have to take out the fist. And that's one thing that modern toys have really done right, because even when I was a kid, I hated having to take out the fists. It ruined it for me in a lot of ways, because it's like, he shouldn't have to take his fist off to transform, and then you always lose the fists. You know, they don't go anywhere. There's no place to store the fist inside the figure when he's in vehicle mode. At least with Gen 1 Optimus Prime, you could put the fists inside the chest, and you were less likely to lose him. But Hoist, there's nowhere to put the fist. You lost him. You lost at least one, and you were okay with that because in the cartoon he had the gun hand. So, exactly. So he transforms very similarly. You have to pivot the hood out, and then you flip the feet down, just like that. And thank you. And then we see the legs just kind of catch on the bumper here, and then you put them together and swing them backwards. And I'm going to get the arms kind of out of the way a little bit. And this thing wants to come off, but that just snaps right in there. And before I do all that, I need to get the head out of the way. So this has kind of a weird joint right here. So you pull it back, and then the head is really just kind of behind the cab of the vehicle. And then this goes here, and then the tailgate swings back that way. And then you can flip the arms to the sides there like that. And then the feet can tuck in. And then at this point, see, this is getting caught in stuff. So, and my little wing thing came out, so I'm putting it back in. I'm gonna put my wing things forward, and this is supposed to kind of, I think I put it on upside down. There we go. There we go. So that folds that way, and then you can lock them in place with the wing things. And then you just snap the shoulders and the side panels down into the truck, sort of like that. Always makes me nervous when I hear that hard clacky sound, because I'm always afraid that it means that my 35-year-old plastic has cracked. But no, it's good. And that is his vehicle mode, and I do have to say, his vehicle mode is terrific. It is just an excellent vehicle mode. Even though the head is just right behind the cab here, you don't see it from any angle. And let's go to the super close so that you can see the detail. And, you know, we've got, oh boy, it really wants to focus on Generations Hoist in the background. So let's just, oh, I know what the problem is. There we go. Maybe that's why we couldn't get the super close. I didn't have the lens in place. So once again, this is a 35-year-old toy. I've never been a fan of stickers because they always do this. And, you know, all of my Transformer toys have peeling up stickers, and I hate that. You know, I almost wish that they just weren't there. And that's another thing that I like about the modern toys, is that usually this stuff is done with paint details rather than stickers. You know, he's got the blue windshield. You know, they made nice wheels, and these are rubber tires too. You know, this is a beautiful look at the tread on that. That is fantastic detail. And, you know, again, the tread back here and the fenders. I mean, this is just a gorgeous toy. So yeah, Gen 1 Hoist is an excellent toy. I'm gonna see if maybe, just maybe, can I put the fist in the back of the truck here. I'm gonna try and put both fists in the back of the truck. Okay, I stand corrected. Now wait, will the fists fall out? They seem to be holding in there. Okay, yeah, well, okay, they're sort of in there. So he can put his fists in the trunk of the vehicle. Yeah, I'd say that's a win. Hey, Coast Brony Games, hello. Hello, thank you, welcome! Oh, Mason Fur, I'm sorry to hear that you broke your Michael Bay ratchet. Yeah, the movie toys for the most part, there were some really nice movie toys, but I feel like a lot of them were made very cheap. So
please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Yes, well, the nature of the medical emergency is that Mason Fur was transforming his ratchet, and he broke the hood and the pelvis. So I'll have to pull out my ratchet and see if I know any good tips on how to fix something like that. But so that is Gen 1 Hoist, but this is not the only Hoist that ever came out, just so that you know. I want to say that this is based off of, well, you know what? Chances are this was based off of a Japanese vehicle. It seemed like all so anyway, Mason Fur was commenting Blazer or Chevy S10. My guess is that it's probably based off of some kind of Toyota. It seems like most of the Transformers toys were based off of Japanese vehicles and things like that. So, you know, there's a lot of them that we didn't even see in the US. In fact, I remember it was years before I ever saw a flat front semi driving down the road. You know, every semi that I ever saw was something that looked like a Peterbilt. So you know, and then when I finally did see one, it's like, oh, look, it's Optimus Prime. Oh my gosh, it's Optimus Prime. You know, you never saw the flat front vans. Oh, excuse me. I'm okay. I redirected and inflated my cheeks. I know, you're not supposed to block a sneeze. Okay? I should not block my sneeze. But I didn't want to slobber all over everything, and that's kind of gross. So, you know what? I blocked my sneeze. So, anyway, this is not the only hoist that they've done between then and now. We have had a few others. And here's the thing. Hoist, well, yeah, we have had a few others. Hoist hasn't had the research, like hasn't had nearly as much toy activity as Grapple, and you'll see that soon. In fact, it wasn't until the Robots in Disguise line, and not the recent Robots in Disguise. This is the 2000 Robots in Disguise, I think. Maybe 1999 Robots in Disguise. There was, so they had those 3 super complicated shell former transformers. That was the thing. In Robots in Disguise, the transformers, many of them were shell formers. And I don't mean shelf warmers, meaning that nobody bought them. What I mean is that the robot was, okay, so yeah, this is Robots in Disguise Sideburn, and I always thought that this car was awesome looking, but he is crazy to transform, and I'm going to try and do it. So, unlike the Gen 1 Transformers, where usually the design aesthetic was to have the parts of the vehicle become parts of the robot, in Robots in Disguise, they really embraced the robots are just wearing a car disguise. You know, they aren't, I mean, yes, they're becoming cars, but their robot forms really don't have much to do with their car likeness. So let's see. We've got, now on the upside, the Robots in Disguise figures were posable and they were highly detailed, but they were also super complicated and could be very difficult to transform because all of these extra car parts that were just stuck on would get in the way, as you're seeing with Sideburn here. So this is, we're getting close here. We are getting close. We've got sort of we've got a robot head, and we've got, gosh, you know, see what I mean about how the front clip wants to get in the way of me rotating the arm around no matter what that I do, and then the wheel wants to get in the way. Oh, Grayscale is here! Hey, everybody, say hi to Grayscale! Give me an Arriba! I think Arriba means up in Spanish. I'm not sure, but I think that Arriba means up, and I don't know.
I don't know if you know this, but I don't speak Russian!
Well, it's true! I don't! Okay, so, yeah, you spend a lot of time with these Robots in Disguise figures just futzing with the car panels or the alt mode panels to try and get them out of the way so that you can get the appendage into the position that it's supposed to be in. You know, he's got an entire, oh, wait, here, okay. We're almost there with Sideburn. Here we go. All right, so this is Robots in Disguise Sideburn. Look at that. Look at this guy. He's crazy. And here, he has You know, now the nice thing was they did make it so that his weapons were part of the design, but not an integral part where if you lost the weapons, he couldn't transform. So, yeah, there we go. That is Robots in Disguise Sideburn. Let me try and... Boy, it really doesn't want to let that wheel in. Oh, okay, here we go. There, it's locked in. So, yeah, that's him. You know, I mean, cool, but also unwieldy. Yeah, that's it. That's him. Let's go to the super close. So here he is, and you can see that he's just got car parts hanging off of him. They are not integrated into the robot mode hardly at all. You know, he's got some fenders on his upper thighs, and that's it. That is it. If I took off, like, okay, I take the gun, and if I took this shield here off, and I took these wings off and this thing off, then I could assemble almost the entire body of the car and still have a fully posable robot. And that was a common thing with the Robots in Disguise series. They had these guys, and this is one of the only ones that I got of the main 3 Autobots from that series. Just because, you know, I thought he was cool, but the other 2 I wasn't really a big fan of. And one of them was a character called X-Brawn, and he turned into a van. Joy wants to know if I have any converters. Oh, I do. I do have converters. I love converters. Okay, we're gonna take just a few minutes to talk about converters here. So, back when in 1983 and 1984, lots of companies were jumping on licensing transforming robot toys and getting them onto American store shelves. It wasn't just Hasbro and I always forget what the American company was that brought in Machine Robo and turned it into GoBots. Was that Bandai? I think. What was that? Tonka. It was Tonka. Thank you. Okay, it was Tonka. So, you know, GoBots were imported Machine Robo. Transformers were mostly from Takara, the Japanese toy company Takara, and they came from Micromen and what was Diaclone. Diaclone was the other line, and if you notice, Transformers toys, like the Gen 1 guys, the early ones, all had a little passenger compartment, which I love, and that's because in the Takara version, they were piloted by little vehicles, and by the way, Takara also made Zoids. And I think that I have a little bag of Zoids. Oh, okay. And so, I don't know if anybody ever had Zoids. I definitely need the super close for this. So, they came with these little pilots, and they were all the same mold, but they came in different colors. And so, I remember when I was a kid, I had a Zoid, and I discovered, oh my gosh, I can put my Zoid pilot in my Transformer. And it fits perfectly. Well, that's not by accident. Originally, the Takara versions of these came with Zoid pilots. That's why the Dinobots had compartments in their chest. That's why the Insecticons had compartments in their chest. That's why Optimus's chest opened. That's why there was a door here, because all of them came from this toy line where originally they weren't sentient life forms, they were piloted vehicles. So, you know, that was a thing. Anyway, so converters was another. They were called select converters, and they had a lot of neat designs. This is one that I just picked up at a vintage toy store just this summer, and he turns into a slot machine, and you know, he's got, you know, all these little details, but watch this. This is great. Okay, I'm gonna get my hand out of the way here. Okay. Wait here. Wait for it. There we go. Huh? Look at that. Okay, so converters were really, really cool. And then this guy, he had a very simple transform, but there's die-cast metal in here. There's decent detail. So these guys were kind of probably the third in line, you know, behind GoBots. If you know, if Hasbro hadn't won the, let's just say that Hasbro and Takara didn't exist, and it was only left to Machine Robo and Tonka to give us transforming robot toys, well then, you know, this little guy was going to be the biggest competitor for your GoBot dollar. And, you know, I mean, he doesn't look like much by today's standards, but back then, he was really cool. Look at that. And the fact that he had those working parts, I had, in fact, actually, I still have a little camera guy, and you could look through the viewfinder, and it had two mirrors in there, so that even though you're looking in the top, you were actually looking out the front of the camera, and it had a little button that you could press, but his arms are broken. I still have to fix those. And they were broken when I bought him, unfortunately. There's this guy who is loosely based off of an anime vehicle. And you know, here he is, but you know, easily just as high of quality in manufacturing as a GoBot, or at least pretty darn close, and some very nice details. So yeah, I do know select converters, and I'm a fan. In fact, at some point, I hope to collect all the select converters, because they are really, really cool, and I'd love to add them to my collection. So, we also have, you know, this guy. He's a Zybot, and you know, you can tell that he's a little bit more cheap. He's got a lot more hollow plastic, but you know, you've got a truck with a trailer, and it pivots, and then you take the trailer off, and you do this, and then we do this, and look at that. So this is a Zybots, and actually he was made into part of a combiner team, but it was pretty obvious that he wasn't intended, you know, that the toys that combined weren't really designed to be a combiner team. It's just that I think Devastator came out and somebody said, hey, you know what, we could add a couple plastic pieces to these guys and make them stick together, and it'll be a robot. It's bad. I don't have them, and it's really not worth the money. I'm sorry to say, because they're so old and rare, you'd have to pay money to have that combiner team, and it is not worth your money. Just don't do it. Look up pictures online. It'll satisfy your curiosity, and you'll be good. So back to robots in disguise. There was a large version of this vehicle called X-Brawn. This is the Spy Changers version of the same vehicle, except with a much, much simpler transform. And then it was repainted to be Hoist in Gen 1 colors. But it really doesn't look like Hoist. So let's go to the super close. He's pretty small. So this is the vehicle, and the vehicle is fine. You know, they've got the nice paint detail. Got the Autobot sign. You know, they got the stripes. So, you know, they're doing it. Oh, Sasune! Susune! Hey, wait here, change to... Okay. A drink to Susune! So he's got some nice detail, and was that good? Yeah. But you know, for a little tiny transformer, he's got a nice. He looks decent. Now his transform is absurd. You're gonna open the door here, and then swing the entire hood out. You're gonna pull the legs out, and then you unfold the arm here. And then you just, this is the arm. Look at that. That is his arm. And this is kind of accurate to the larger version. He had the entire hood of the car on his arm, which is why I never bought the larger version, because his robot mode looked stupid. I mean, that's not cool. It's just there. It's not even like, oh, the hood of the car reveals missiles or a supercomputer that transforms and he can use or something. No, it's just he's got a car hood hanging off of his arm, and his arm is weirdly long. So anyway, this is the Robots in Disguise Spy Changers Hoist, but what's weird about it is that this is not the only Robots in Disguise Spy Changers Hoist. Exit repaint of Xbron. Enter this guy. He is also named Hoist, but he was not done in any way as an homage to the original. I guess they have some yellow and green pieces in there for reasons. Yeah, maybe it's a riot shield. You know what? Satsuni is suggesting that maybe this is a riot shield, and dude, I think that that's the best possible answer for what the hell they were thinking, because other than that, it really is just the front of a car. So and yes, Satsuni, you get a drink and a dance. So anyway, so this is Spy Changers Hoist that is probably no relation to the original Gen 1 character, and his transform is very simple. I do like the translucent colors. You know what? I should have timed that better because you know, well, I need to be careful with this guy because the translucent plastic is usually a little bit brittle. So you need, when you have translucent parts, be careful with them. The plastic is usually some kind of acrylic, and acrylic is far more fragile than ABS. So this is Spy Changers Hoist, the other Spy Changers Hoist, and he's got...
I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this.
No, it's fine. And one of the ends of this is the end that shoots. I think that this is the end that shoots, so we'll just put that right in here. He's got a tiny fist hole, and I kind of admire. No, wait, maybe it goes here. I don't know how this gun fits. Yeah, it doesn't. It's really hard to get that in there. Okay, let's put it down here and do this. There we go. Okay, so he's got a huge hood, but you know, he is a tiny figure, and he's got little arms, but you know, that's really no worse than any of the Gen 1 Autobots that we're all used to. Oh, okay, so Kyoji was making a comment about Xbron, and I'm trying to find it. Wait a minute. Did it scroll up? Did I miss it? Oh wait, there it is. So the full-size Xbron, ends up having his head visible where the right front seat would be in truck mode. Oh, so you can see it through the windshield. Well, you know what? Gen 1 Ironhide and Ratchet, you could see their sticker face through the windshield. Yeah, that's... I mean, I'll forgive it. Because, you know, at least it's inside the vehicle. But yeah, that's a little bit... It's a little unsettling. So... Red Geist, Disaurus and Red Geist. So Mason Fur was just asking if I have any Disaurus or Red Geist, and I'm afraid that I do not because I don't know what those are. I suspect that they're like an anime thing, and you know, are you gonna? Yeah. So my lovely assistant is going to research that so that I can see what it is, because who knows? Maybe it's been repainted and used as a Hasbro product. So anyway, yeah, this is the other Spy Changers hoist, and then we didn't get another hoist until the Generations line, which I believe happened around 2010. Oh, okay. Deathsaurus. Oh, wow. Huh. He's a Decepticon, too. I never saw Deathsaurus. Okay, wait, was that Mazenfur that said that? Yeah, Mazenfur, I tip my hat to you. You have introduced me to a Transformer. You know what? I remember hearing the name used in a Transformers story, and I didn't know what they were referring to. So, this one's for you, Mazenfur. You know a piece of Transformers history that completely missed me. Oh, wait, here. That was water that was being added. That was some strong water. Whew. Yeah. So, we did not get a new hoist until I think it was 2010 when they came up with Generations hoist. And I'm not a big fan of the kind of lime green, but I have to say, his body dynamics are excellent. Look at this guy. You know, he's cool looking. You know, and again, he's posable. He's got a pelvis. He's got a gun which transforms into the tow hook. He doesn't have all of the back kibble, no wings. It's just a tow hook. So here, let's go to the super close and you can take a look. Yeah, look at him. I mean, and this is when they really embraced their Gen 1 heritage, but they were trying to reimagine these characters in new and exciting ways. And he is a definite testament to that. And I'm going to try and transform him here. So we'll take out his gun, and here, watch what happens with his gun. Wait, I'm going to do this on the super close so that you can see it. So you've got the gun, and it looks like a pistol. All right, yeah, see, neat little pistol, and then you go like, oh, you pull it in half and drop it, and then you can snap it back together easily. I feel like at the beginning of Gremlins when he's demonstrating the bathroom buddy. So okay, let's try this again. You open this gently because it doesn't go straight, and then you pull out the tow hook and you pivot this around, and that becomes the tow hook. See, that's cool.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, so Surprise! And then with him, I'll try to do this quickly, but we know that we know how that goes. And well, okay, I guess I'm done. So the feet flip down. The insides of the legs do this thing, which is actually getting to be a pretty common maneuver, where there's a little lever inside that allows the fender to swing around the leg. It was done on the Stunticons, it was done on the aerial bots, except that they don't have fenders. They're planes. They don't have fenders. See, this is why my friend Don should be joining us on these things, because he would correct me on that. And it would be funny. Thank you for that. And okay, so the chest does something here to get rid of the head. Oh, the head. Okay, so the head spins around. This is kind of a sound wave move. So he turns his head around, and then it just tucks into the top just like that. And then that goes like that. And then the arms swivel around this way. And they're going to, the shoulders are going to go up here like that, and then they tuck in, and you need to rotate the sides of the arms out so that they become the doors of the vehicle. And then there's actually a you have to open them, so you open these down like that, and then you rotate them up this way. And if you can click everything in and get it to tab in and not get it to pop to pieces. Boy, I'm breaking parts off of this guy. Fortunately...
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
My door fell off, okay? So, that's another thing that's a big improvement over today's toys versus the Gen 1 ones. Now they're made with joints that under excessive force, they just pop apart and you can snap them back together. If this was the Gen 1 version, then I would have broken him. So, here, you have to do the arms before you finish the legs. So, you get the arms in just like that, and then you close the legs around, just like that. And then you can have the light bar up there. And see, they did the light bar out of gray, okay? And it looks a lot better. Thumbs down on the lime green, but thumbs up on the gray light bar. And then you just take this and you plug it into the hole in the back. And he's a tow truck. He's a nice tow truck. Looks good. We'll go to the super close. So this is his vehicle mode. And yeah, nice tires. You know, very, very simple. They didn't go crazy with the detail. You know, obviously the Earthrise figure, they've done a lot more detail on it. But this is a nice toy, and this is a nice addition to my collection. I'm glad that I have them, and I'm glad that they did them. And just to show you, they also did, of course, the repaint, which actually Trailbreaker came out first. Of course he did, and then they did Hoist, and they are. They're just remolds. You know, he's got a different head sculpt and a different weapon. You know, this becomes like a thing that pretty much encapsulates the back of the pickup truck. But other than that, they're the same toy. So, it's a world transformed. It's a world of evil Autobots and heroic Decepticons. I don't know. I get, you know, in the same way that Kit and Car were the same.
In the world of the Transformers, nothing is what it seems.
Yes! Yes, I agree with that. Well, let me drink to that.
Please, no! 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 No!
Is it getting warm in here? Whew! Okay, the water that Monica added to that drink is, it's strong water, let me tell you. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm starting to sweat a little bit here. And we haven't even gotten to Grapple. We're going to have to kind of speed things up for Grapple. I'm sorry that we're rushing on Grapple. We've spent way too much time on Hoist. So, anyway, that's Hoist. That is the history of Hoist. Not a whole lot of different Hoist characters through the years. Now, let's take a look at Gen 1 Grapple. Oh, wait! Why is the green so weird on the one plastic cheat? Oh, so here's the thing. So who was asking? Monica was just asking why the plastic is why the color is so different from this one to this one. Is it cheap plastic, or here's what I suspect. They just chose this color scheme. You'll notice through the years, they kind of swing back and forth between going for more subdued, realistic colors versus having more cartoony and more vibrant colors, or then sometimes even going, kind of pastel or neon. This is a bit of like a lime neon green almost, and they're not going to be able to get neon out of it, but I think that that they were going for more of a cartoon feel rather than a realistic feel. This is more the color of Brutus. This is vehicle green. It is very close to what you'd see driving down the road. This is more what you'd see in a Japanese cartoon. And so, at this point, and even at the point in 2010 when they were manufacturing these things, they can get pretty much whatever colors they want. And I sometimes suspect when I see a really off color that they either had a bad run, they ended up, because mistakes do happen, even in industry. You spec out a color and it comes back wrong. You spec out engineering and it ends up not working, or at the factory somebody changes it for reasons. I've seen it in my own job where something was designed. It was designed in a way that would work and work perfectly, and then at the factory, when it went into manufacture, it got changed and then it didn't work anymore, and then people started noticing that the product doesn't work, and they start calling the company that's selling the product and saying, hey, I bought this and it's crap, it doesn't work, and then they come back to us and say, why doesn't your thing work? And then we're like, what, why didn't it work? And then I end up spending a lot of time digging through design files and looking up engineering and doing some product testing of my own and looking at various versions, and then I see that after dissecting several of these things, that the engineering for the final product is not the same as the engineering that we sent, and we find out that in order to fulfill the order, they actually sent the engineering to multiple manufacturers, and there were 3 different manufacturers, and one of those, for whatever reason, changed the engineering. So, things do happen, and I think that this is probably not a mistake. This is just a choice. They chose to make it a brighter color for that product line. So, but of course now, they understand that we as as adult collectors, we want what we imagined this want to be. We want the version of this that turns into what we saw in the cartoon, except we don't actually want it to look like the cartoon, because the cartoon didn't actually look as good as we imagined it. You know, you look at still images from the cartoon, and a lot of them don't look good. It's the animation that brings it to life. And so by putting in the detail and you know, all of the dynamic little circuits and things, and all of the textures and things, it compensates for that lack of animation. And because if it actually looked the way that it did on the cartoon, we would be like, wow, that looks like crap. But as a three-dimensional object, this is what was happening in our minds when we watched the show, even if it wasn't the reality of what was on the screen. So, so, you know, this is something. A few years ago, and this is a segue, okay, I apologize. This is another segue. A couple years ago, actually probably about 10 years ago, one of my old friends was visiting, and he saw my Masterpiece Optimus Prime, and it was the newer one that had the trailer. And he said, hey, I remember that. I had that when I was a kid. And I said, well, you didn't have this one when you were a kid. This is the Masterpiece version. He says, no, that's the one that I had when I was a kid. And I said, no, it really isn't. He says, no, I remember. And he was dead set that the Masterpiece version was the one that he had when he was a kid. Well, it wasn't. It you know, he had the Gen 1 version, the one that I've shown in some of my other live streams, that's, you know, that's about yay big, and the figure's about that tall. But what he forgets is that when he had it, his hands were half the size. And so, you know, this is actually the first Masterpiece Optimus Prime. So when he saw the other one's on the shelf. It's on the second shelf. You're staring right at it. Yes. Sorry, we just had to clarify which Optimus Prime. So yeah, it was this one. Okay, he was looking at this, and he thought that this is the toy that he had in the 80s. Well, we all know that this toy did not exist in the 80s, but in his mind, this is what he had. When he was watching, when he was watching the cartoon, he saw that Gen 1 Optimus Prime that really didn't look like this. Let's be honest. I mean, it's cool, but the entire back end is hollow. He again has no pelvis. He has a bumper, and then legs come out, just like Gen 1 Hoist did, where he has, he doesn't have any Ghibli bits, no cod piece, and he had fists that you had to add on, but nevertheless, that guy was convinced that this is what he had when he was a kid, and that's because in his imagination, that's what he had. And when his hands were this big rather than this big, the toy was much bigger in relation to what it is now. So this, in my adult hand, seems like what I had when I was a kid. It's actually what I wanted when I was a kid. And now I've got it. So, life is good. Life is very good. Okay. Life isn't quite as good as it might have been. That's okay. Anyway, so that's just an anecdote about the difference between what we remember and what we actually see. So Colleen is here, everybody. So oh dear. So this is gonna happen, huh? So we've got a little bit of water. This is just water. That one's for you, Colleen. So, anyway, now let's get on to Grapple. We are an hour and a half into this live stream, and I haven't even touched Grapple yet. I am so sorry. So, we'll put Hoist over here, and let's just talk about Gen 1. We're going to start with Gen 1. This is Gen 1 Grapple. This is Gen 1 Grapple. No, this is Gen 1 Inferno. Throughout the history of Grapple, he is doomed to always be a repaint and slight retool of Inferno. So this is Gen 1 Inferno, and he's a nice fire truck. I mean, you know, he looks great. He has the ladder that works. He had a great robot mode, which, you know, not hard to transform. I can go like this. Swing his arms down, flip his feet, and... Oh, I almost did it. I almost did it! There! So that's Inferno in robot mode. And, you know, he's... There we go. And, you know, he's a nice toy. He looks great. Great detail. Well, they took the exact same mold, except instead of a ladder, he gets the crane, and the crane extends, which is awesome. And then we can transform him too. So I'm going to get a little bit of a head start here. There we go. That's him. Yeah, that's close enough, right? So, this is Gen 1 Hoist. Now, once again, Gen 1, that means that you have to plug in the fists. Gosh, you know, I've never been a fan of the fist plugging in thing. And maybe it would have been cooler if in America they didn't weaken the springs so that they didn't shoot. But... you know, I've never been a fan. I mean, Transor Z shot off his fists. But as far as I'm concerned, Transor Z is the only one who gets to shoot off his fists. That's his gimmick, nobody else. And I never really understood how the fists get back on. You know, like, I think that I remember one episode where they showed jets coming out the fingers, and it was like, I'm not sure about that. But, you know, you know, Transor Z. So,
there. And now for something completely different.
Now for some, I lost a fist. Wait. See, that's the thing, you know, you lose the fists because the springs are weak and don't really hold them in place. But that is Gen 1 Hoist, and we'll just look at Gen 1 Hoist. Nice robot mode. Okay, this is a nice Gen 1 toy. Nice detail. He does have a pelvis. Look at that. He actually has a pelvis. You know, nice details on the legs and feet. He is a bit of a brick, like most Gen 1 characters. He's got no posability. He's got arms, you know. Oh, I guess you can fold down the shoulders too. I actually think I like it better with these things up. I think that he looks better.
Roger.
Yes, thank you for that. So, yeah, great toy for Gen 1. He didn't have a lot of metal. And that's one thing that even when I was a kid, I noticed that he felt much lighter than the other Transformers toys because I think there's some metal in his feet, and that's pretty much it. On the upside, that also meant that he could stand because all of his weight was in his feet. So, you know, that is Gen 1 Hoist. Now, Gen 1 or Hoist didn't get a lot of love over the years in terms of there being new versions. So in the Energon series, which I believe was what, 2003? I want to say that Energon was around 2003. They released this fire truck is Inferno. It's Energon Inferno, and I always loved this toy. I even though it's not a realistic looking truck, it's a cool truck. Look at that. Here, let's go to the super close. You know, he's got some great details molded into him. I love the windshield on him. I love the pumper that's very obviously a gun, but who cares? Yeah! And, you know, knobby wheels. I mean, you know, you look at this truck and yeah, you know what? I absolutely think it looks like a robot, you know, that's turned into a truck. But you know what? It's an awesome looking truck. Don't care that it looks like it transforms into a robot. And by the way, it does. You can take the thing off, and then you flip the feet forward and pull his arms out. And the head is right here, but they put these little panels on it. So that and that's it. That's really it. So that's one that actually works. And that is Energon Inferno. You know, you split the legs, yeah. And so let's just look at him on the super close here. Once again, you know, he's neat. I like the colors. I like the design. He doesn't get a pelvis. He gets no pelvis. He's just legs, but he is still posable. So these things fold down too. I forgot to fold these down. So there. So he's posable. You know, he can get into some cool poses and you know, be like, hey, you know, I'm gonna beat you up, and he's got elbow joints and arm joints. And
you know what the chain of command is? It's a chain I go get and beat you with till you understand who's in command here.
So yeah, and that's what he does. And of course, you can take the weapon and put it on his arm. And let's see, I believe that it goes right in here like something. It goes in here like something. Oh, okay, wait, it goes on this arm. So, okay. And then they have this cool, unnecessary thing where you turn the tank of the thing and this moves with it, although it doesn't seem to be working, probably because it's 20 years old. So, and then I can throw it off mercilessly. So, yeah, rocket fingers, right? So, anyway, so this is Energon Inferno, and then, of course, they had to come out with this. This is a repaint and slight retool of Energon Inferno, except that for some reason it's not named Hoist. It is named Roadblock. I don't know why. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Roadblock. You know, he was badass on G.I. Joe, and here's actually what I suspect. I have nothing to base this on, but I suspect that at that time there were a lot of characters whose names and likenesses, the copyrights were about to expire if they didn't get used. They were going to fall into public domain. So you saw a lot of characters that had very odd names due to copyright issues, and I have to wonder if he was named Roadblock because Hasbro was at risk of losing the rights to Roadblock as a character name. So, do I keep calling him Hoist? I apologize. So So Kyoji was just saying that I keep saying hoist and I mean grapple, but his name is actually Roadblock, and he transforms exactly like Inferno. You flip down the feet. You remember to flip down the side panels on the legs. You pull the legs forward, split them, pull the arms out, and then this one, the little thing does work that actually pivots that around. And not that I really understand the purpose of that, but and then he's got this sort of helmet thing that covers up his face, so you do that. The weird thing with him is that it seems like in order to get his head to face forward, you really have to tip the body down at an angle. I'm not really a big fan of that. It's just kind of weird. But overall, I really like this figure. And even though he's not named Hoist, or not named Grapple, haha! I almost did it again. Even though he's not named Grapple, I feel like everybody knows what they were going for, and maybe Roadblock here is Hoist's offspring somehow. What? Oh, did I say it again?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Okay, so you're gonna have to start beating me every time I use hoist instead of grapple. So maybe he is, maybe he is the child of Hoist and Grapple, because they were very close. And Transformers don't come in male and female because they reproduce that way. They are not sexual creatures. They don't need gender to reproduce. So, they were both builders. Maybe they both built Roadblock.
Sexual history.
Epic and private.
Okay. So, so this is Roadblock, and even though he's not named Grapple, I feel like he's essentially Grapple. Yes, too much water, definitely. So that is Roadblock, and that's all that we've had between then and now. And are you ready to see Earthrise Grapple? Is everybody ready to see Earthrise Grapple? Yeah. All right, here we go. Earthrise Grapple. Look at that. This is Earthrise Grapple. He is extremely detailed, even though he doesn't have a lot of paint decorations. He looks amazing. He is large. The detail on the wheels is excellent. He's got places where you can add guns. He has the place where you keep that nozzle that you can put on his wrist. He's got this attachment for the crane, and of course he's got a functioning boom that let's just go ahead and do this. So yes, this is fully extended. It does go in, and it comes out, and you can fold this in and put the grabber attachment, which, for those of us who remember the cartoon, that is the attachment that he used to clear rubble in one of the cartoons. So, that is really, really cool. I love that they did that. It looks awesome. And the hook just nests neatly inside of there, so it completely disappears. So, you know, he in vehicle mode is awesome. This rotates all the way around. You know, he is just such a neat toy. And you can also take this off. You can put the gun on here. So, you know, he's got the ability to be like driving down the road and just completely blowing away any target that he wants independently. It does not have to be a front-facing thing. So that is pretty cool. And I'm going to pull the little nozzle off right now so that I can use it in the robot mode. His transform is not all that difficult. So you're going to detach the back where the head is from the feet, and they just peg in. Be careful because the pegs are tough. And then you're going to do kind of a weird flippy thing with the feet. You know, there's actually kind of a double lever in there, and so it goes back this way and then closes against it like that. And that makes for a very nice foot. And then you have, at that point, you have them half transformed. Bring the arms around, facing like this. And at this point, see, they leave these things up too. These aren't even made to go down in this version. So, whereas the other version, it has them at a pivot and then you just don't use the pivot, they didn't even bother. So obviously the designers of this one thought, you know what, they look better up. So I stand vindicated.
Just do it!
Yes! Just do it!
Just do it!
Just do it!
Just do it!
Just do it! Does everybody feel inspired? I feel inspired. So then the head, you know, there's this long thing here, and then it just does this, and then that snaps in, and this goes against his back, and then you can flip the fists out. And this is Grapple. And look at that. Look at this guy. He looks great. He looks... So, yeah. Look at that. Nice head, and even though he's mostly monochromatic, the details that they put in really pop. He's got. Let's go ahead and back off just a little bit here. Like all of the Earthrise figures, he even has ankle joints that make it so that you can get him into neat poses like this, where, you know, he's pivoting his foot and still keeping his feet flat on the ground. You know, you can give him his gun. You can fold the arms in, and then there's a socket here to put his blaster. So you can also do this. Okay, tell me that isn't badass. Oh wait, let's do one more. Alright, and adjust the camera a little bit, or maybe just get these guys out of the way. There we go. Look at that. Okay, he looks great. I mean, that is not a guy that I would want to mess with. So, we've got the boom that is still completely functional and completely posable in robot mode. You can give him the big claw hand, just like that. You can give him the blaster hand. He's fully posable with a pelvis. Yeah, I mean, this is one, I have to say that when I saw him in the package at the store, I was like, you know, maybe I hold off. Do I need, you know, I was never a big fan of Grapple. You know, I mean, I didn't dislike him, but it wasn't a character that I was attached to, and, you know, I got bills to pay. So, you know, I was actually thinking about passing, or at least, you know, waiting on this one. And I have to say, I am so glad I didn't wait. He is just excellent. You know, this, being able to do stuff like this. Here, let's go ahead and block the camera from what it wants to focus on. Oh wait, here, I have to put the lens on it. There we go. Okay, so, yeah, you know, that is cool. This is cool. Being able to pull this out and, you know, having the option for this, and then the fists are just folded in there. You know, he is an excellent, excellent toy, and he has fantastic play value. If, you know, probably, I'm just going to say that out of all the stuff that I have bought for both the Siege line and for Earthrise, which right now I've only got the 2 Earthrise figures, but that's why I'm going to roll in the Siege line too. I'm going to say that in terms of playability, you know, just sheer fun factor and stuff that you can do with a toy, you're not going to get a better value per dollar than picking up Earthrise Hoist. He is awesome. Damn it, I said he's Grapple! Earthrise Grapple!
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Double kill.
So, I feel like we've covered everything. Yeah, I think that we have pretty much covered everything. Yeah, I know I keep saying Hoist and I mean Grapple. Earthrise Grapple, yeah, huge thumbs up. He is fantastic, and yeah, I want to say that he was at the $25 price point, right? Same as Starscream. At least that's the Walmart price point. I think that it's like maybe $29 at Target. And of course, for those of you who don't have Target and Target in your area, then go to Toys R Us. Oh, I'm so sorry. But yeah, he's just fantastic. So, does anybody have questions? You know, I managed, even though I got sidetracked a lot, we haven't even gone 2 hours. It's crazy. So, does anybody have any questions about Transformers? What, do you have questions about anything? I do breaks a lot too. Oh, good. I'm glad that Colleen is extremely well hydrated. So thank you. I'm extremely well hydrated. Yes, I've been drinking a lot of water tonight. Mexican water, and and that water is not going to waste.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
So, all right, I think that that's it. I think that we have managed to cover both Grapple. No yay? Grapple and Hoist in... What?
No!
I do have Gen 1 Reflector Joy. Joy is asking if I have Gen 1 Reflector. Why, yes, Joy, I do. And I've seen him very recently. And if I were to maybe wave my hands and then say alakazippy, alakazoo, no, not perceptor. This is reflector. I also, yes, I also have Gen 1 Perceptor, the commemorative reissue, which is still in the box, but so alakazam, look at that, yay, I made reflector appear. This is Gen 1 Reflector, and this is one that I inherited from Don. This was part of his collection because you could only get it by sending away robot points and paying money. And I never sent away for any of them. So all of the Omnibots, what was the pullback thing called that, sticker face, I forget. Power charger. It was called a power charger. That thing Don had, I did not. But Reflector, this is Gen 1 Reflector. And just like in the show, he does split into 3 robots. And I want to be very careful. This is a little bit of a prize of the collection. So yeah. And then you take that off. And then you've got 3 robots. And they each had their own names, and I don't remember what each of the robots' names were, because, of course, on the show, they just referred to them all as Reflector. They pretty much acted as a single whole, rather than being 3 distinct characters. Very gently pulling the arms out. And then you take that off. And so, there we go. Let's go to the super close so everybody can see them. This is the center guy, which I don't remember his individual name. And I don't think that most people actually care about the individual name because, they just knew him as Reflector. And then here was one guy, and here was the other guy. Now, for let's see, for which line was it? Siege? This was Siege. Okay, so for the Siege line, they of course released the Reflector in the Gen 1 cartoon colors, but there was also a box set that had extra camera pieces that made them look really, really nice. And so you could either get 3 of the individual robots and combine them to make the camera, or you could get the box set and have everything all at once. But if you got the box set, they were in the red, blue, and dark blue-green color. If you just bought the ones that were on the store shelves individually, they looked like the Gen 1 cartoon. So what I've done is I went to the thrift store and I bought a couple just old cameras from their camera bin. You know, you can get old 35 millimeter cameras for like maybe $5 a piece, sometimes less. And then I took pieces off of them to enhance the camera mode of this guy, you know, to give him like a little button here, and I haven't finished the project, but you know, I put a real lens on the end, which goes on just like that. And so, but I have to say, kudos to the designers. They did an amazing job here, because what they did was they made these in such a way that if you had the 3 individual toys, you know, you just had one, then it was just a guy. And you know, you take him, and you know, he turns into a robot, of course, but he had his own vehicle mode, which I'm going to show you here. So he had like a windshield thing. Oh, wait, here. It was like that, I think. And I want to say, I'm trying to remember, because I never used the vehicle modes on these guys, because I don't need to. I've got the I've got 3 of them, so they turn into a camera. And then you take, the tripod is made up of their guns. So you take one of the legs of the gun, and you actually fit it in here somehow. Gosh, I'm trying to remember how his thing goes. I think that it was. Oh. Okay, so those go there. Monica's looked up the picture. Yes, I'm cheating. I'm using the picture. Ah, there we go. So there's some little tabs on the wrist, and they go like that, and they go like that, and then you have this, and then this thing just sort of, it does a thing here. These go sideways like this. Okay. That's what I was getting wrong. And thank you. So it does that, and then the lens also, it comes off, and then it breaks into 3 pieces, because you would only get one of these with the figure. And so this is what it transformed into if you only had 1 or 2. But if you had all 3, then you made the camera. And I have to say, nice job. That's really, really impressive and really imaginative. And talk about a marketing ploy. They got me to buy 3 of the exact same toy. They didn't even have to repaint it. They just got me to buy 3 of the same damn thing, and I did it gladly. What the hell is wrong with me? I mean, I have bills to pay, but apparently they're not as important as getting 3 $20 toys just so that I could build a camera out of robots. Yes. So, yes, that is the Siege version of Reflector, and like I said, they did a really good job. So, oh yes, you know what? They called him Refractor. And most likely it's because, once again, I bet they lost the rights to the name. But nonetheless, he's Reflector. We all know who it is. So, Yeah, he was a great army building character. I mean, this is even better than the Seekers because they didn't even have to repaint him. I have to say that box set is really, really neat, and I kind of wouldn't mind having it, but at the same time, I've spent $60 to have this camera. Plus, no, $70 because I bought $10 worth of old cameras at the thrift store. The box set, I want to say, was like $90, and you know, if I really didn't, I wasn't attached enough to having them in the different robot colors to pay $90. But obviously, wrong. I guess maybe I might have made a wrong choice. I don't know. No. You know, I'm very glad to have the three guys from the that look like the cartoon, because honestly, that's what I remember when I was growing up. I didn't have these. Don had these. I didn't get them until many, many years later when Don decided to donate his collection to my collection. Thank you, Don. So, and perhaps if I would have had those when I was younger, then I would have been more inclined to get that box set. But I did not. So, that is a Scrubs reference, Gray Skull. Thank you for noticing. I loved Scrubs. I missed that show. So, I want to say that this is it. Gray Scale, not Gray Skull. I've had a lot of water tonight. I apologize for calling you Gray Skull. I feel like it's not going to be the last time that it happens, though. I mean,
remember, we care.
So, yeah. So I think that that's it. I think that we have beaten Hoist and Grapple and Reflector up enough. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming. You know, having you guys here, I know I say it at the end of every live stream, but it doesn't stop it from being true. Knowing that you guys are here and you're messaging with each other and you're messaging with Monica and you're messaging with me and we're all just kind of having fun on a weekend night, looking at old toys and new. You know, this is stuff that I geek out on. This is stuff that I think is really cool. And, you know, it's funny because this stuff is actually the reason why I'm in the line of work that I'm in. So, you know, regardless of what people may say about the value of playing with toys, I would not be doing what I'm doing if I hadn't fallen in love with Transformers 35 years ago. And I hope that today's generation has stuff like that can capture their imaginations and will lead them to do things that are interesting and useful in their futures. So, that Joy says Hoist and Grapple had a kid called Snapple. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I think that that's everything. I think that I'm going to sign off. Goodbye, Joy. Goodbye, Grayscale. Goodbye, Kyoji. Kyoji, you've been here from the beginning. You are a trooper. Joy has been here from the beginning. She's a trooper. In fact, she was the first one here. So, you know what? You get bonus points, okay? The next drink of water is for you. You know, Colleen, it's always great to see you. And Cheeky Boy, I don't know if I've seen you in our chats before, so thank you for coming. We've been doing this every week, either on Fridays or Saturdays. Usually it was Friday, but this week it's Saturday. So thank you. I hope you had a good time. And for everybody else that I haven't named or I don't see your names in the chat, thank you so much. Thank you. You guys are the best. So stay safe out there, and you know, don't get you know, anything. So yeah, good night. Do you have the whole thing? And we're gonna play you out. And good night, Setsune! I didn't mention Setsune! Good night!